I apologize in advance. I don't do sit down videos. Like I just don't. They just don't work for me. But I'm doing one today. So I'm really sorry. It's just really good. Is there caffeine in chai lattes? Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Currently my country is in lockdown, unfortunately, and it can get pretty boring staying at home all day. However, an app that remains a top choice for movie and TV streaming can keep you entertained for hours. If you haven't already guessed, this app is Netflix. Netflix is an amazing streaming service and there are hundreds of movies and series to watch on there. Sometimes though, no matter how many shows there are on there, you still can't find things to watch. So today I'm going to recommend my top 14 Netflix shows to keep you entertained. I'm going to start off with more commonly shows that you may have already watched, but you know, I had to include them. They're like icons for Netflix. A show that's been super popular recently with the new release of season 2 is Outer Banks. Outer Banks is set in the island of Outer Banks in North Carolina. The main plot surrounds a tight-knit group of teenagers on the wrong side of the tracks called the Pogues. When a series of unusual events occur on the island, the Pogues, led by their leader John B, embark on a mission to find his missing father. In the process, they stumble across a treasure map that unearths a long-buried secret. I give the show a 5 stars. I definitely recommend you watch it if you haven't already. It's an amazing show. And it honestly makes me jealous I don't live such a cool life as these characters do. The next show I would totally recommend is Stranger Things. Another popular one that has 3 seasons and an intriguing storyline. I watched this with my family and I was super obsessed with the show in 2019. Stranger Things is set in Indiana in the 1980s. A group of young friends witness supernatural forces and government exploit, and as they search for answers, the children unravel a series of extraordinary mysteries. This super cool kid called Eleven can move stuff with her mind, and it's honestly a really cool series. Ginny and Georgia is again another well-known Netflix series. This one is kinda cringy and dramatic, however it's super intriguing and it makes you want to keep on watching. This series tells the story of a single mum named Georgia who moved with her 2 kids, Ginny and Austin, to a small town in Massachusetts. Ginny is the main character and we see her form new friends, make new relationships, and lose that really tight bond she has with her 30-year-old mother. This show is pretty good and definitely one to watch. Next, let's move on to scary movies. I know horror movies aren't for everyone, but I fell in love with the suspenseful taste these shows bring. To start off this list is Fear Street. I watched this trilogy of movies recently and was blown away at how good it was. Fear Street is inspired by the books written by R.L. Stine. The movie starts in 1994 when a group of teenagers discover the terrifying events that have haunted their towns for generations may all be connected, and they may be the next target. In the second part, Fear Street jumps back to 1978 to tell the story of one of the horrific events. And then finally, in the third part, it jumps even further back to 1666 to explain the story and how it began. This trilogy is very gruesome. There's a lot of killing and blood, but I loved it. Next up is Bird Box, which is so good. It isn't all that scary, however, it is technically considered a horror movie. I watched Bird Box with my friend, and although we covered our eyes for some of it, the plot is actually super interesting. And in the end, it all made sense. The movie is about a mysterious force that threatens the population. Only one thing is certain. If you see it, you will die. The survivors must now avoid coming face to face with this entity that forms as your worst fear. Searching for hope and a new beginning, a woman and her children embark on a dangerous journey to safety. I love this movie and I definitely recommend it. In the Tall Grass. This one is weirdly good. Another horror movie that puts you on the edge of your seat and is so confusing. This movie is about a brother and a sister who enter a field of tall grass to help save a little boy. But they soon realize they cannot escape and something is lurking in the grass with them. I watched this at 12 AM and I would not recommend doing that, however I do recommend watching it. I could go on and on about the amazing horror movies on Netflix. However, I'll finish off this section with my all-time favorite, which is Haunting of Hill House. This is a series about a family who moves to an old mansion to fix it up. Supernatural, scary things happen in this house and we go back and forth from their present selves to their childhood self. It's an amazing series that's made so well, and definitely one of my favorites so Moving on to more ordinary stuff, we have Modern Family. I love this series. It's funny and witty, yet also kinda deep. It goes on for lots of seasons and it tells a story of 3 families that are all connected. We watch all the kids grow up and it's definitely one of my comfort shows. Next up, Lost in Space. Lost in Space is a Netflix original series about a family who is able to leave Earth before it collapses. The series takes us on their journey of moving from planet to planet and their ship breaking down and this robot and all these fun things. You might be put off by the name or the plot, but it's really hard to describe. I was like, I don't really like watching space kind of things, but seriously, I'm so glad I watched it. It's amazing and addicting. Another good one is Everything Sucks. I know I've said this about all of them, but I love this one. This movie is set in the 1990s with a group of outcast teenagers who are frustrated no one is listening to them. So they decide to make a movie to make a big impact. We get told the stories of each kid and what they're going through, and it's overall a really interesting movie. Okay, how could I not put Shameless on this list? Love Shameless with my whole heart. It's an amazing series about a family with lots of kids, yet an alcoholic father and an absent mother. The elder sister looks after the family, and we look at what struggles this family faces. We watch these children grow up, and I literally love this show, and I definitely recommend it. Holy, I almost forgot Sweet Tooth. Correct me if I'm wrong, this might actually not be on Netflix, it might be on Apple TV, but I still had to include it because it's literally amazing. This is one of my all-time favorite series ever. This amazing show was filmed in New Zealand and released earlier this year. It tells the story of a deadly virus that wiped out half the population. Babies begin being born hybrid, half human, half animal, and the remaining survivors try to exterminate these hybrid children. Oh my god, my mom's talking the plane like this is not working. No. Rat. We learn the story of Gus, the firstborn hybrid child, who lives in a forest with his dad. I don't want to spoil it too much, but he meets many new friends along the way as they go on a search for his missing mother. This one is by far my favorite and a great way to end the list. If you need more recommendations, I have many more amazing shows to share with you guys, and I'm happy to do a part 2. Just make sure to comment it down below. Thank you so much for watching and listening to my embarrassing self. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!